Hey guys, this is Jessica Giovini from the Just Press Play podcast. You might follow me at the Just Press on Instagram, sharing my calligraphy and invitation designs for weddings and events. I'll be chatting with other small business owners about life, from growing their biz to mental health to where to get your favorite coffee. Tune in every episode as we laugh our asses off and make fun of ourselves while lifting each other up. What up, everyone? Welcome back to the Just Press Play podcast. Woo! Back again with another business owner, and this is actually my last recording before I have a child. And so it kind of like makes sense actually now that we're ending it on this note. Introducing Sarah Bossio of Your Zen Baby Sleep Child Sleep Expert. Welcome.
Thank you so much. That was a great intro.
Yay! I'm so glad. Can you tell everyone where to follow you on social?
Yeah, so Instagram at Your Zen Baby Sleep and TikTok, the Baby Sleep Expert.
Ooh, okay. I don't TikTok. I say this like but I like that name for it, the Baby Sleep Expert. All right. And then where
YouTube.
Oh yeah, YouTube. Go ahead.
YouTube, same, my business name, Your Zen Baby Sleep. So if you wanted to find out like more long form, educational, more detailed information, I have a weekly YouTube that I put out. So go over and follow me.
Amazing. I love YouTube. Actually, my husband loves YouTube television. Like all his favorite shows are on YouTube, so we always have it on. And I never realized until like making a podcast like the extent of YouTube. Like it's so much more than just like I don't know, like little videos. So, like it's so informative in every way. And I love that. And that's so good because I didn't know that you had that, and I'm gonna need some info coming up.
Yes, you will. You'll be fine. It's your second go around. It's not as hard.
No, we will be working together because I need help. Where do you service?
Okay, so virtually, so I can work with somebody anywhere. I've worked with people as far as South Africa.
Oh my God, cool.
I know.
That's
so
really cool.
To be like super cheesy, sleep is an international language.
No, it's so
it is, right?
No, that's so cool though.
But then if you're local, so local to me is Essex County, New Jersey. And then I will do in-home consultations in Essex County, Bergen County, Morris, Union. So, around the Essex County, New Jersey area. Yeah. So in that area, if you needed some help in-home, I will be available to do that too. But most of my work is all virtual because all you need is the coaching through the app that I use and telephone and, Google Meets and all the wonderful resources that we have online.
Well, I will say, as someone who worked with you, so Sarah was a sleep therapist for us. Now, let me preface by saying, because I talk about how Walker still wakes up all the time. When we worked with Sarah, it worked, but unfortunately, kids just go through phases, and this is what it is. We're at a point now. He still wakes up at night, but it's just like one time. There was a time when we first found Sarah, he was waking up like 4 times a night, and we were struggling so terribly. And before finding you, we had worked with some Instagram, and you think that's what you're supposed to do because they have the whatever, and it's actually crap. So and as something too, I have to tell you, because you were saying you use your app, being able to talk to you was so major. Even after our contract ended, I still remember we went to the Poconos. Walker literally,
yes.
I
remember this.
We were struggling mentally so badly. He was probably 2.
Yes.
And he literally wouldn't nap. He would I guess just the change in scenery, which he had gone places away before. I don't know what it was. It was so bad. And he was up all night one night. And I remember I messaged you and you literally talked me through. And just having that support, even after we weren't even working together, was everything. And I remember he finally fell asleep in the car and you were like, let him sleep, wake him up in an hour, and then put him back to sleep. at 7 because I remember it was like 4 o'clock at that point, and then he actually slept. But
Yes.
like I will never forget that because you literally went back and forth with me for so long, like coaching me through what to do, and it was so hard. We had to like get him in the car. You were like, "Let's get movement, like get him in the car and like drive around." Like, and I know that a big thing for you is like sleep wherever sleep, like movement sleep, like just get sleep. And oh my God. So thank you. He's turning 4 now and that still haunts me. That was rough. So yeah, but I think we came to you, Walker. I remember I first started looking into sleep therapy when he was like 6 months, and then like that didn't work. And then with like this Instagram thing I was telling you about, and then I guess probably like by the time he was like, I feel like he was like over 1, and then we started working with you maybe.
Yeah.
But it was such a
he
great
was
process.
definitely like standing in the crib. I remember him being a crib
Yes.
stander. I remember him being a crib stander and
out
being
of
like,
the crib, by the way, since before his second birthday, because he learned how to jump over it, the whole thing. I know 4-year-olds still in their crib. I'm like, nope, not my kid. He's been in a double bed for a long time.
but you know what? Me too, Jess. Both of my kids were out of
Too.
Yeah. Like
but
they're.
I also wasn't like insane, like Walker's crazy.
This next baby is gonna be the chillest. Common.
I hope that's what people keep saying, and I'm like, God, I freaking hope so. I mean, Walker is like, he has such a big heart and he's so sweet. He's just filled with so much energy. And now that he's older, the energy is put towards like his brain and knowledge, and he's so bright that it's like frightening to us because it's like you're so smart, like you're so much smarter than we are. But so hopefully this one, maybe he'll walk a little later, I hope.
Yeah.
Walker was walking at 10 months, running.
Yes.
I'm just like, take your time. It's okay.
He will. He'll just crawl for a long time. He'll sleep right away. You're
Oh
gonna
my
have a
God.
totally
Well,
opposite experience.
I remember right when I found out I was pregnant, I was like, I don't even think I announced it. And I messaged you and I was like, so when do I get in touch? Because I need a kid who sleeps.
I know. Immediately.
We'll get into all of your timelines and everything like that. But I always love to ask everyone before we start, because I love coffee, where do you like to get your favorite coffee?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I go to a local coffee shop often, right by us in North Caldwell, which is called Jola Coffee. That's a good one. And then if I'm not at Jola, then I'm at the Compound Coffee Co., which is in Verona. Yes, those are my two spots that I'm.
My friend lives over there, and he like lives at Cloverleaf Tavern. Like loves.
We go to Cloverleaf every Friday night.
The best. We've driven up there just to go. Like it's so great.
Yep.
So when you said North Caldwell, I was like, she has to. I feel like everyone knows Cloverleaf.
Every Friday night.
Oh
it's
my
our.
God. You probably know my friend Bill. He's always there sitting at the bar. Always.
Oh, I love it.
That's so fun. Oh, I love that. I love to follow new coffee shops when they're local. So I'm gonna go on.
Wait, one more. So if you're up this way at Montclair, Paper Plains. Oh, you have to go like work there. Have you been there?
No. Okay. So I got dinner. What's that incredible restaurant? Well, there's so many in Montclair.
There's so many.
No, the one. It's the one.
It's the one?
It's like
La Roca?
No, the Asian inspired fusion. Oh my God, why
Pasta
am I doing
ramen?
Thank you
because
so
you're
much.
pregnant.
Ramen.
Pasta ramen.
Which is like one of the best meals of my whole life.
Yes.
And I was like, we're getting there. We're going to Paper Plane. I'm not kidding. We got stuck in so much traffic that we did not make it. We got there like 5 minutes after they closed, and it's on my list because I think it's the coolest looking place ever. So
it's really cool if you ever bring, or for like anybody listening there who's a business owner, I love to just go with my computer, and they actually have like plane seats, like airplane seats.
It looks so cool. I can't handle it.
And you just sit, you grab my favorite latte is the Mayan latte with oat milk. It's so good. It's just got like a little spice to it. I don't love spicy, so it's for those who don't love spicy, like you can handle it. And I just sit on my airplane seat with my computer and my Mayan latte, and it's just perfect. It's perfect. Yeah.
I love that. I'll get there at some point. It looks so fun. Like,
Yep.
I love
Go.
Halloween. I'll get there. All right. So back to sleep. Which
Okay. Coffee, sleep. Coffee, sleep. Yes. Synonymous. Yes.
did we get here? What's your background?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so my background, like professionally, when I became a grown up, I don't know, do you feel like a grown up? I still don't feel like a grown
No,
up.
not really.
No, I feel like I play pretend house every day.
Mm-hmm.
So I started my career, like professional career as a special ed teacher. And
Okay.
then, yeah, so I've always worked special ed and with more moderate to severe disabilities. And so that's always been my population. When my kids were born, I struggled with their sleep. They struggled with their sleep. I did a bunch of different stuff with my oldest. When my second came around, I was like, oh, cool, I got it. I'm really confident that I'm going to be able to nail it. I didn't have it at all. She was totally different and
Wait,
still
that's
is.
the little one with the curly hair who's like
Mm-hmm.
wild.
Spicy. She's my Mayan latte. She is my Mayan latte. She's my little Peruvian Mayan latte. So she came along and she was not having what I taught my oldest, and they're two completely different kids because they're I don't know why, like same
No,
mom, same
that's
dad.
good. Like
Yeah.
different personalities.
Yep. So I had to do something totally different, and I was like, oh well, duh. Like I've never taught the same lesson twice to the same kid, right? I've always modified, I've always differentiated. That's just like my jam because kids are so different. So as I started, trying to figure out how to teach her to sleep, my husband was like, you're good at this. He's always been encouraging me to venture out of the classroom. He's like, you got to get out of the classroom. Like, you're really creative. You should be working with people. You're personable. He's really my just our rock here, like in our house. He's so calm and neutral in our grounding, like our landing space for the three of us, the three of us meaning the
My
girls.
husband, because I'm like,
Yes. Uh-huh. Yep. So COVID, this is my COVID baby, right? So I didn't have a COVID baby. I already had my actual human babies here. But then COVID hit, and I was like, oh God, the classroom is getting really, really hard. And he said, you should just try sleep consulting, like see if you can start a business, see where it goes. And what was supposed to be a side hustle ended up becoming full time. So that kind of is where it led me. And I feel like the special ed is what really helped me to see a different angle with many of my families. I really treat it as like every kid is really a different learner. And I look at the way that children learn sleep as a learning opportunity, and every kid is going to be taught differently. Every parent teaches differently, right? So there's foundations. I've probably said this too. I say it to every parent, like if sleep isn't, it's not like there's a million different sleep methods or that I created them, right? We're all using variations of the same ones. But when you see how a kid is picking it up, that's where the modifications come in. And if you really understand child psychology and education and all of that, it's going to be easier for the kid to learn more efficiently, less crying, all of that. So what was my pain became my passion, which is so cool.
first of all, I had no idea that you had a special ed background or education,
Really?
and now this makes so much sense.
How funny.
I
How
had no
funny.
idea. And
Yeah.
like honestly, love it so much. Walker has an IEP for speech, so we've dealt with a lot of
Yeah.
meetings and all the personalities, and I could talk about this forever, so I won't. But the thing that drives me so insane is that they're always putting kids in boxes
Ugh.
and that they're all the same and like they're all different, and it drives me so crazy. So hearing you just say every kid's different, I'm like, oh my god, thank you. Like it. I talk
Yes.
about it in therapy like every week. It drives me crazy.
Every kid is so different. And I
So
say, when families come to me and like they're desperate, right? And I can hear through the phone, they're like, I don't understand. Like, why is it that I'm talking to my best friend and her kids slept 12 hours, 7 to 7 at like 12 weeks old? Same, same. And I say, like, listen, if you think about, I know not everybody's experience is being in a classroom, but you can relate to it because we've all been in a classroom at one
yeah,
point, right? So like if I looked at my class of kids, right? Obviously they were working with me, but within that class I had one child who might receive special speech therapy, one might receive occupational therapy, and one might receive physical therapy, and then there might be two other kids who aren't receiving those other services. Okay, right? Like Every kid needs something different in order to access whatever they need to access. So your kid just might need a little extra support accessing sleep. Period. The end. Like, whereas maybe when they go to school, they're not going to need OT to access handwriting, right? And that's okay. So why are we going to shame ourselves or feel guilty or whatever and not give them the help for the sleep if you are struggling, right? It's the same exact thing as all the other therapies, but I think there's such a stigma that comes about when we're looking at the internet, yeah, as there is for a lot of things. But it really is like looking at it as you're just looking for support because your child is not your best friend's child, and their system is different, the way that they regulate is different, and you're not given a guide when you leave the hospital that tells you
Not
how to do.
even a little for anyone listening that is not a parent. They literally like, peace, see ya.
Actually, the only thing that I tell my kids, I was like, guys, they didn't give me a guide. The only thing that they gave me when I left the hospital was the number to Santa Claus. That's the only thing I have.
One more than I had.
So I have his direct line. So if I ever need to call him, and they're like, what?
You're like, yeah, we're tight.
Yeah, we're tight.
Yeah, we tight.
Yeah,
When
Daddy and I.
We're like, what? Santa can't come. Santa, my presents. We're like, well, I don't know what to tell you.
So bad.
I would love to take a moment to share about the Therapy Garden, a neurodiversity affirming therapy practice located in Hazlet, New Jersey. They offer speech therapy, occupational therapy, and community programming for pediatric clients of all abilities, as well as adolescents and adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Their work focuses on functional communication, self-advocacy, and real-life skills, and they accept insurance. To learn more, you can follow them at the Therapy Garden NJ on Instagram or visit thetherapygardennj.com. Aloha! Surfside Smile Co. Pediatric Dentistry and Orthodontist is making waves in Middletown, New Jersey. They specialize in pediatric dental care for the little ones and orthodontic treatments for the whole family, including Invisalign and traditional braces. Guys, I have to tell you, Surfside Smile is Walker, our little one's dentist office, and we love it there, from the amazing staff and the amazing decor, and we can't forget about their awesome golden retriever therapy dog, Penny. They want all of their patients to feel at home. They love getting to know their patients and their unique selves so they can set them up for success. Their goal is to get you smiling, laughing, and wanting to come back. Want to join their ohana? Visit them on their website, surfsidesmileco.com, to get more info about their office and schedule an appointment. Mahalo!
Bad, so bad. You go there. You gotta go there, whatever.
You have to, though. It works. Like, it just does.
I know.
But, it's funny, like, now that Walker's older, I'm, like, starting to understand him in that way, that, like, this kid's brain does not shut off. It is always going. And now it's funny because, we're saying, like I said, he has an IEP for speech. And if people listening don't know what that means, I actually don't even know, Sarah, what IEP stands for. I just know it's considered a quote-unquote disability.
Individual education plan. So you have a document that protects you. Make sure that he is receiving services at a certain amount of days per week or days per month. And the services he's receiving is speech therapy.
Yes. And now there's, like you mentioned, there's many that kids can receive. But Walker it's funny because he talked late, but he is cognitively at above a kindergarten's brain level. And now we just had like our annual IEP meeting and learned that he needs to basically, like, when the kids are doing their like spelling, and it's like not spelling, they're not even spelling, Walker spelling, alphabet and learning to count to 10, Walker has to go do his own thing separately with a para because he's on such a next level that, like, he is so bored and has walked out of the class. Literally, we'll just like open the door and leave and is like, gets frustrated because he's like, I already know how to do this. And he's the only kid in his class who can read. And like, that's amazing. But like, it's just funny because it was like, oh, at first he wasn't talking and now it's a challenge because he's too smart. And I'm like, this is why this kid wakes up. So he wakes up and he's like having a conversation with us. And I'm like,
turn it off.
Like, go to
Turn it off.
sleep. The first thing he
Actually,
does when he's like up for a day, he's like, let's go downstairs. I'm like, oh my God.
please, can we just like lay down for like a minute? Wait. If you have, this actually might be helpful, which I know he's not getting occupational therapy, but this is helpful for him. If anybody listening has toddlers and you find that like your toddler is like that, right? Overactive mind. Any toddlers who present as like, I love to jump to, you know, that like seeking out like that sensory input. This is not from me. This is from when my youngest did occupational therapy, looking up activities for heavy work. So heavy work is something in OT where you are pushing and pulling. And what it does, like, again, if disclaimer, I'm not an OT. And if I'm explaining this and any OTs are listening and I didn't explain it correctly, I'm sorry, but I'm turnkeying it, right? It helps to regulate, basically, if I say it in layman's terms, like it helps to regulate the nervous system is basically how I understand it, and calibrate the vestibular system, whatever that is in your body. So if he's like really overactive, what that can help to do is just kind of like bring him down. Anything. So like what I would do with Olivia, I'd have her do not L sits, but like L pushes, upside down L pushes on the wall. So like, you know, her body would be
okay. Yeah.
Right? Like pushing on the wall while she was standing up straight, pushing a heavy laundry basket down the hallway as I was trying to get her ready for bed.
You would like doing this. You would think this is fun because he likes, especially laundry. He takes the laundry and puts it in the dryer for us. He loves that.
Yes.
That's really smart. Yeah.
Anything where the head goes below the midline, so like downward dog, that can be really helpful in regulating too. So it is not going to guarantee that he's not going to wake up all night long, if you know, but if you're struggling at bedtime, it's something that I offer all of my toddlers in our toddler plan, but just like to keep everything calm. And it doesn't have to be really long or involved. It's like 3 to 5 minutes, right? Like really quick.
Yeah.
And that can be
amazing. So wait, what are your age ranges? Because I know that you work with like infants to older.
Yes. Infants to 8 years old. 8 years old. Yeah. So I'll start actually sleep training. So there's a little bit of a difference, right? Like sleep training is formally teaching your child to fall asleep independently. And I'll do that right around 16 weeks. Sometimes I'll do it a little bit earlier, depending if I see, look, she's writing it down. If you're listening and you're not watching this, she's like, no, I'm just like, when is 16 weeks for this baby? So you could do it at 16 weeks, sometimes a little earlier if I can see the readiness signs, but 16 weeks, the reason being your circadian rhythm turns on then. So your body's biological clock is on, ready to go. And that's when we know from a biological perspective, we can really work on schedules, self-soothing, all of that. I will work with families as young as 8 weeks, but we're not teaching like full-blown independent skills. We are just teaching like maybe how to start to learn to fall asleep independently without any expectations, really looking at like progress, definitely not perfection ever, trying to establish wake windows versus schedules. It really is just more support than a full-blown sleep training. And the program is much longer when I'm working in the young baby age. And then, you know, I do work with like 5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds. It's not as often that I work with that age group though, because it's not as frequent that I will get calls from people with kids that age.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm thinking, and I'm like, Walker, as a like you're saying 16 weeks, and I'm thinking back, I'm like, he slept really well then. So like
you didn't need it.
Everything's good. And like, yes, he would wake up and like we give him a bottle, and then he would go back to sleep, and then all of a sudden, like he hit like over 6 months, and it was like no. Yeah. And like he was like a great napper. I mean, like he kind of just dropped the nap recently, which is fine because now he goes to bed earlier, which is amazing. But he's always been a great napper. It was always during the night. And like, it's just, you know, it's funny. I think of myself. I wake up. I'm like, I start thinking about things I have to do in the middle of the night. And I'm like, is it for me?
Maybe a little bit. No, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's the active brain piece, right?
And my mom was like this too. Like she was like, but me, like I could sleep. Like my mom was like always going, like always up. But you know, I wrote something down that, and I underlined it 10 times, literally. Besides the fact that you sleep train for babies, like this is for parents to live and breathe. Because I was thinking back on like what has been the hardest thing, and besides the fact that he's just like fast and we have to chase after him, sleep. Because, like, if you're not sleep, like, I live off coffee. This pregnancy, I'm only having 1 coffee a day. I'm dying. I can't wait to have like 4 again. But like, oh my God, if you do not get a certain amount, it is like you can't function. You just can't.
It's impossible.
Like,
yeah.
and as a working parent, like, oh my God. I wrote our most difficult and I underlined it.
Yes.
You are not only there to support the babies, you're literally talking to these parents and like off a ledge, like to get through their days of like help
Day
me.
in and day out.
Yeah.
And really that I think was the biggest piece of my why, right? So I knew I could do it because of my education background. I know I can teach. I know I can coach people through it. I know the science. I got a certification, the whole 9 yards. But why? Why sleep and why not anything else? And I struggled so much with the kids' sleep, and really the effect, it wasn't just I struggled and I couldn't figure it out and I was sleep deprived. The sleep deprivation had such a major effect on my mental health and beyond,
it's a huge effect on PMADs for moms especially. Yeah.
For moms especially. So with my oldest, I just didn't know the warning signs. I didn't know the triggers. I didn't know any of that. And I finally, after 8 months, was diagnosed with depression and anxiety. And finally, after 8 months, was like, oh, maybe I should go on meds. And then I was like, oh, wow, this is what it's supposed to be like to be happy. Like, cool. Which was like wild that like I spent 8 months in like a really, really big fog. And when we were planning on having our second, I had said like, we worked with a therapist together, my husband and I, had been in counseling from when my oldest was about a year. So there's 3 years in between my kids. So we probably did about 2 years of therapy together. And we're planning the second with our therapist. And
we just had a joint therapy session last weekend in preparation.
See? Yes. And part of our plan was, I said, I will not get pregnant unless we work on the sleep. Like that's going to be my biggest trigger. And what are we going to do together as a couple to manage it? Because me being up pumping or trying to nurse, or me being the sole sleep person all night long is not going to be good, because I have a toddler now to take care of. And clearly I can't manage. My body reacts really poorly to sleep deprivation and his body doesn't. So I think that's an important thing to reflect on yourself, right? Like, how does your body deal with sleep deprivation? And I think that that's something that really drives me to support parents. Like, do I want your babies and your toddlers to sleep? Of course. But I want to support the parents, because every parent's body really truly reacts differently to certain amounts of sleep. My husband can get by on 4 or 5 hours for weeks at a time, and maybe he's not like, like he's not like the happiest.
He's like, I'm fine. He's like, I'm okay.
Yeah. I go into like full blown, like depression spiral. It's bad.
So I have OCD. I've diagnosed OCD from postpartum, but it is continued, and like that's when my brain starts going, because I'm so tired that I can't focus. So my brain's just like flooding and obsessing. So yeah,
obsessing. It's so like the effect. And then, for us being mindful of the fact that as the people who are making the babies and our hormones are affected, right? The hormone has such a severe effect on us as well, including the fact that our cortisol is sky high when you're not sleeping, right? That's crazy. So our plan as a couple was, I don't care. I'm not nursing. That was like, I refuse. Don't put the baby anywhere near my boobs. I'm bringing formula to the hospital, and you're doing every other night. Like, I will sleep in the basement and you're going to sleep all the way upstairs. Or we had a finished basement. It wasn't like
I guess. Yeah.
And we will, if the toddler wakes up, whoever is upstairs is on duty. Right. But like that was our agreement. And funny enough, I still ended up being diagnosed at the second time with depression and anxiety, but
like it
wasn't as bad.
Yeah, because you're already like, it's just.
I just was like, where's
the hormones are just, no one prepares you.
No one.
It is so out of control.
Right. And if you know that, like, my thing was like, I can take a terrible night if I know the next night is going to be a better night and I can sleep. And if I know I can.
Already thinking optimistically.
Yeah. So it's not, like there is a phase where there is going to be sleep deprivation when you're dealing with a newborn, right? But you do have a partner. If you do have a partner, right, you can manage like talking to your partner, doing something to lean on your village if you have a village, right? Like finding those resources, because it does affect your mental health, and that's my why. Like, that's a big part of it's not really about the babies, it's about the moms, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I literally wrote parents with underline, because like, how are we supposed to take care of you if we're not able to function whatsoever?
Oh my God, you guys, I'm so excited to introduce you to Paletas and Company, an all-natural ice pop business proudly run by the Davidovich family right here in Monmouth County. Their journey began with a simple but powerful idea: to create a healthier alternative to traditional frozen treats without sacrificing flavor or fun. Paletas and Company's delicious ice pops are free from refined sugars, artificial additives, and food coloring. This makes them the perfect guilt-free indulgence when you're craving something sweet and refreshing. We love Paletas ice pops and get them delivered right to our door. You can use the code JUSTPRESS at checkout to get free delivery. Follow them at Paletas & Co. on Instagram and taste the difference of a truly natural ice pop.
You're not.
Whew, that's why I started a podcast for mental health, so I get it. Like, literally, that's why.
Yeah.
I actually wrote down, you have multiple different methods.
I do.
Okay, so if you want to kind of get into that, I wrote certain things down. So I wrote down Snooze, Eat, Play, Sleep. You also have Moms Who Sleep Academy. Yeah, I wrote.
You did your research.
I come prepared.
I love it. Okay, so
wherever you want to go.
I would say let's focus on.
Yeah, that's okay.
You know what I'm gonna talk about, like, what ways to sleep train, and this is really like focused on the snooze method. So it's an acronym for basically the way that I work with people, right? SNOOZE. In a nutshell, the way that I'm working with you is I am making sure that I'm paying attention to all of the little items that all of these letters stand for. And basically, it's going to be schedules, it's going to be naps, it's going to be overnight sleep, opportunities for independent sleep, a Zen mindset, which is the Z, and that's a whole piece of my my business model that I think is also unique, is bringing in mindfulness, bringing in self-compassion practice, bringing in just awareness of your body and your body in space, because there is crying when we're talking about sleep training. I think that's, you know, an elephant in the room that I'm totally good talking about. And then environment, sleep environment. So, you know, a sleep environment is a big thing. And within that, there's different methods that I will teach, right? So that's kind of the structure that I follow. But then I'll work with the family to say, hey, these are your options. You can do, generally, if I'm going to talk about two methods, right? You can do the chair method with your child, and that's like more of a very involved, let's sit in the room, let's be with the child the entire time while they're falling asleep, and then fade from there. Or you can do something like time checks, which is we're going to be checking in and out, in and out.
That's what we did. I remember, and it was great.
Yep.
I remember it was like the minutes, like each day was like 1 minute less or whatever, or something like that. And I was like, oh my God, it's working.
It's working. It works. It works. No matter the method you choose, it's scientifically effective, right? The biggest thing is consistency. So that's what I always encourage parents to think of, is like, what are you going to be able to teach consistently? Mm-hmm. And when you're able to teach consistently, then your kid is going to learn consistently, and then you're going to see the results, right? So that's what I like to guide parents towards, is like, you know, what's going to feel good for you.
Yeah. I kind of mentioned this before, but I want to go back to it because I think it's really important. There's parents who get so obsessed with like, well, they said you're not supposed to do this, but you should do this. And I wrote it down as like myths. And specifically because you wrote about napping, like, who cares where they're napping? Let them nap. Like, yes. I have friends who have put their kids in a car because they know they're going to go to, you know what I mean? The other, Walker got emotional yesterday because he was overtired, and I rocked him and he fell asleep in 1 second. Like, it brought me back, you know, like he just needed like the tapping. And I feel like that is such a huge thing because everyone thinks like, I'm supposed to do this because that's what I read somewhere, and like everyone's different. So like for you, are there any like myths in that way that like drive you crazy, or like, you know, like just let them go to sleep?
Yeah. Okay. So I would say a big myth is like, if you sleep train, you're going to be nap trapped. Not true. Like, right? Like, if I sleep train, I'm going to be like committed to a schedule and I'm not going to be flexible. And my kid's going to have to sleep in a dark room forever. False. Like, if you sleep train, your kid's going to be so good at sleeping anywhere. And if you sleep train with me, I'm going to teach you that you have to go put them in a car and you have to be out late past bedtime and you have to teach them that they cannot sleep in their crib all the time, right? Because sustainable sleep is the reason why we're doing this. I don't want you to be panicking about the sleep once we sleep train. That's like the total opposite of what I want you to do. I want
He
it to
loves when
be,
he falls asleep in the car at night. Oh my
yeah,
God, so great.
it's great. It's so much easier than the whole bedtime rigmarole.
Oh my
right?
God, just so good.
So good. And another big myth, which is so backed, I know this is going to ruffle feathers, but whatever.
Yeah.
It's backed by science, right? Is that crying causes attachment issues,
No.
right?
Yeah.
Crying doesn't cause attachment issues. Kids cry all the time. They
Yeah.
cry for many different reasons. They're not just like, could they be crying for sleep? But they could also be crying because they want ice cream for breakfast. So if you're choosing to put up a boundary for sleep, that actually is creating secure attachment because they know that this is what they can expect and you love them and you're supporting them, right? And you're saying, I know you can do this and I'm still here and I'm not leaving you, but this is the rule and this is the boundary. We don't have to let our little ones make all of the decisions for us. We can make decisions as parents too. So there's a lot of science to back that up too. And I think that's another thing that's like a big scary myth on the internet that shames people into getting the sleep that they need, you know?
Well, like you were saying, like with the time checks, it's every
You were
few
there.
minutes. You're not having them scream for an hour and not checking
No.
on them and they're freaking out. You're letting them, I'm still here, but you're okay, you're safe. And now I'm gonna leave again and I'll be
Yeah.
back in another 2 minutes. Like
Yeah. You're there
yeah,
the whole time.
totally.
I know.
Totally.
I know. Yeah.
When I was on your page, I don't know if it was a reel you put, and I was like, accurate. Because like even I have friends, they just stick to like what they know and they're scared. Well, this is what it says. And it's like, dude. And I remember when we worked together, like, one of the first things that when I say they say that, anywhere is like the room has to be pitch black dark. Okay, well, we tried that and guess what? It didn't work. And I remember you were like, don't take the shades off. Like maybe he wants like let's try all the things. And this also goes back to like every kid is different. And I just think that is like one of the most important things to know because all we do is compare ourselves and like, why is our kid not doing this? Blah, blah. And like, I've been through everything with Walker, basically. He is his own person. And like, I always want other parents to know, like, I will never judge you because I've been judged so many times by my kid. And I still get that way. Like, I still feel that way. And, like, it's okay.
It's okay. Yeah, it's okay. And who's doing it? If whoever, I don't know, who's doing a perfect job. I am not. No.
But it's like, even people are like, oh my God, he just like, oh my God, he just like ran off like that. Yeah. What do you mean? Like, your kid does it? Oh my God.
I know. Good for you.
That's amazing.
Let me get you a cookie.
I don't know what that's like. Like, I laugh at like the kids, like with the parents who the kid's not moving, and I'm like, that's amazing. But like, that's just not my kid.
I know. And it's okay. We love him for it. Yeah. It's
like, I don't care.
It's not a bad thing.
I'm exhausted, but he has an amazing personality. It'll do him great for his future. It's fine. I have to run after. He took off the other day when we were leaving school. And I'm like, I can't even run, Walker. This is like, and he thinks it's funny. He just all of a sudden was like, ha ha ha. And it's like, okay, great.
Oh my gosh, you are gonna put yourself into labor before this like scheduled C-section.
I mean, I hope not. But like, also, it's like, we got to this point. It's not like he's 2 anymore, so he takes off and doesn't understand. Like, he knows like not to, but he's like, I don't really care. And he knows, like, he looked back at me and stopped. But it's like, why'd you even have to do that? But because he wants to, and he's like, I'm turning 4, so I'll do what I want and whatever. But
once these 5, that was the big turning point. 5.
Okay.
Yeah, 5 is huge. And kindergarten. He's not going to be in kindergarten next year, right? You
no.
still another year?
No, yeah, it's the year after.
Yeah, so that's going to be like huge turning point. It's just
Yeah, I
there's
mean,
like
school has been amazing anyway because he does really well with structure. So
yeah.
once he's like in a full
Yep.
day of kindergarten, and he loves it, so like I dream about it. He'll probably sleep too. He'll be
You
tired
will.
from the day. Yeah.
Well, and he's gonna be challenged. Look into actually you should look into your schools. Anybody here who's got kids, again, who are advanced, right? And you're noticing
Mhm.
that they have to be pulled to the side. Look into your district's gifted and talented programs because
Hey,
that's
thank you so
something.
much because I had a whole conversation with this. And no,
Yes.
I said, don't you have that? When I went to school, it was called like enrichment.
Yeah.
And they like looked at me like I was crazy and I don't understand. Okay, what is your biggest, this is kind of vague, what's your like biggest advice, a piece of advice for parents who are beginning to sleep train or just entering the difficult stage?
Okay, so if you're my biggest piece of advice for parents who made a decision to sleep train, which disclaimer is not required, right? You are not required to sleep train. It is a
Mhm.
family choice. It is not something you have to do. If it's right for you, cool. If it's not right for you, also cool. My biggest piece of advice is that it is number one, going to be life changing in a very positive way once you get over the first rough few nights. So it's okay that it's rough. It's also it's depending on the age that I feel like you do it at, but most of the time I'm working with people who are doing it in the baby and like early toddler stages. It really is kind of an introduction into this is the first like behavioral choice you're going to make as a family. So putting up a boundary and you're saying, this is what I am saying. And I'm saying something in response to you as a child saying, I'm not happy. And I'm holding my boundary in spite of your discomfort. And you, as a parent, now have to understand how you feel with your child's discomfort, and you have to understand how you're going to process your child's discomfort. And from that point on in your parenting journey, you are going to be continuously challenged to put up with your child's discomfort. And it's up to you how you want to manage that, right?
Mhm.
That's a personal choice as you as a parent or you as a unit, a parenting unit. Myself and my husband have chosen, and it gets easier with time. We have a 6-year-old and a 9-year-old now. We have chosen to be strong through the discomfort so that our kids know that there's boundaries and there's rules and they have to respect what our boundaries and our rules are. Have respectful boundaries and rules, but
Mhm.
we are the parents and we make the decisions and we expect them to follow those decisions that we make for them because we know what's best for them. They don't, right?
Yeah.
And that's, we made that first decision when we decided to sleep train all those years ago. So I think that's kind of like the first introduction into it. And it's a good way to kind of have a conversation with your spouse, your partner about like, oh gosh, how are we going to manage the next behavioral
Yeah.
concern
There's
or
always something
situation? Yeah.
every
And
age.
you're uncomfortable. Your kids are going to make you uncomfortable, and it's not your job necessarily to make them comfortable all of the time. Not your job.
Hey,
That's
when
okay.
we have a dog, our dog Doc, he's turning 8, he's the best. And when we first brought him for training, because dogs get training, that and he had a really great dog trainer, he said, I'm never, how do you say it? Like, I'm never gonna be mean to your dog, I'm just gonna disappoint them
Yeah.
because they're going to be uncomfortable, because they're going to be upset, that like disappointed that they're not supposed to do that, but that's because they don't know what's right for them, like what's best for them, like you do, and it's for their safety.
Health,
And
safety.
like, yes, like, and I always remember that, always, about like, I'm not going to be mean to them, I'm just going to disappoint them. And that's what made me think of that, like, because discomfort is something I deal with every single day, and it's so hard for me, so hard, because I don't like being uncomfortable, and I'm learning how to live with being uncomfortable.
Yeah,
So I
so
think
hard.
that's an amazing piece of advice because that goes across tons of spectrums.
Totally. All of them. Yeah, it's not just sleep training. It really will help
Yeah,
kind of build that muscle for you for other areas
totally.
of your parenting journey. Yeah.
So, what are hopes for the future? For your Zen baby sleep, for life?
My gosh, I hope for the future for yours and baby sleep just to continue to help all of the wonderful families who come my way. And for life, I hope that my kids are happy, that my husband's happy, That's it. That's what I hope for in life. Happy, healthy, safe, and some travel. That's like our big focus.
Yeah.
As my kids are older, like
Well,
we've
they're
been
older
able.
now. You can
Yeah.
like do things easily.
Yeah. You know what's really
Easier.
cool? My oldest has been she's a little smarty pants, and she has been really into Greek mythology lately.
Oh my God, cool. That's so fun.
So cool. So we've been talking, I don't know if this is actually going to come to fruition, but if I keep talking about it, maybe I'll manifest it. We've been talking about possibly taking them to Greece this summer
So
to like
cool. Oh my God.
see the ruins and Athens, and she would love it. She would just die. Yeah. Yeah.
It's so cool. Also,
Right?
she's 9. It's like so exciting. Like
So
at that age when you like get into something like historical and like, oh my God, she'll be like blown away.
She would be so blown away. She really would. And she's such a, I mean, both of my girls are just good girls. So, if we could make it happen, it would be amazing,
I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well,
What are your wishes? Tell me what your wish for your baby is.
no. I had a really, really traumatic hard birth my first
I know.
time. So
I know.
going into this, we are hoping and manifesting something better, trying to focus on what we can control from it. And just, I'm very hard on myself, and I just am. I don't know why, I just am. I always have been. So, because I'm always like juggling 5,000 things. And it's like, I'm really trying to make myself slow down and give grace and be like, you don't have to be everywhere at once. So that's my hope, is that I'm coming home with another child and I'm like, it's okay that not everything's perfect. And one kid might be screaming in one room. One might, out of like happiness, but like dancing to Blippi or something. And the other one might be crying, but like, it's okay. And the dog might be barking. But yeah, to not be so hard on myself and like just be like, this is okay. And this is like beautiful chaos.
Good.
So, well, that's all you can do. Thank God for therapy.
Thank God for therapy. Thank God.
Love.
Holding space for that birth. I'm going to hold space for that.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yep.
Tell everyone again where to follow you on social.
Okay, Instagram at Yours and Baby Sleep, TikTok Baby Sleep Expert, and YouTube at Yours and Baby Sleep.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sarah. This was not only just such a good conversation for sleep, but like mental health. And I'm just like always talking about that. So I'm so glad that we were able to spread that, even more awareness on that.
Me too. I love it. Thanks for being a platform for that. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And that's it for this week. Thanks so much for tuning in for another week of some awesome small business owners. If you like this podcast, please rate, review, and subscribe. Getting a 5-star review on Apple, Spotify, or YouTube is so important for people to be able to find this podcast. So if you like this, you can keep following me at The Just Press and at Just Press Play Pod on Instagram, and I'll catch you next week.